Well, howdy doody, every one of you that are listeners of our Trailer Hitch podcast. Kevin's already laughing at my intro. I was like, let me take it this time. Kevin's like, you got it, buddy. I'm two words in and he's laughing up a storm.
The howdy doody in particular is something that I'm just getting a huge kick out of. Yeehaw, welcome to Trailer Hitch.
I'm trying to find my voice, my intro voice, if you will.
Kevin, it's out on the plains.
Yeah. I want to thank you for letting me do the intro. I know it was a little weird.
No. Always happy to get you here, man.
This is Trailer Hitch. We talk about movie trailers. I'm going to let Kevin talk about that stuff more later. He's usually got a whole spiel. You'll love it. But first, listeners, I just wanted to point out that because I like our episodes to be cohesive, right? Like you're watching a saga unfold, or not watching, listening, because this is an audio format. But
I'm loving this so far, by the way.
So last episode, Kevin and I kind of called out that, hey, when we record these episodes, we record them on Thursday. They go live on the following Monday. There's 4 days in between there that more trailers can drop. And we're like, you know what? There's not much we can do about it. And we teased it in the last episode. We knew it was coming. Godzilla versus Kong came out the day before our episode hit. So we were just like, well, at least we called attention to it.
At least we're aware that the biggest trailer of the year so far would drop.
Listeners weren't showing up at our apartments with pitchforks being like, how dare you not talk about Godzilla and Kong? And why is that, Kevin? Because we told them what the deal was. We missed it. We missed our window. But guess what? We're going to talk about it this week, you guys. We're going to talk about it now.
Here we go.
And we got some other exciting movie trailers to talk about as well. And
we got a lot of Moxie over here for sure.
Oh my gosh, Kevin, that was delightful, just like Barb and Star.
And also, I'm also trying to figure out a way to get Raya and the Last Dragon in here. Con baby?
How about just
you can see me juggling nothing if you could get video on me.
How about we cut to the theme song and then we'll come up with a better Raya and the Last Dragon joke afterward.
I have faith in us. Let's do it.
You can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
This movie might totally suck, but the whiskey sure is going down fine. Yeah, we're Trailer Hitch.
All right, James, we've had a full 50-ish seconds here. Do we have anything new for Raya and the Last Dragon? Any joke here that can tie it in? I was
prepared to say, yeah, I got one, even though I didn't, and then just hope something came to mind. But I'm done playing that game, Kevin. I wanna be more upfront in my life, and I just want to be honest with the listeners. No, I have nothing.
James, I appreciate your honesty, and that's good too because we review movie trailers. Hi, welcome to Trailer Hitch. I'm Kevin.
Hi, welcome to Trailer Hitch. I'm James.
Indeed, this is a movie trailer review podcast. We rate our trailers on a scale of need to see more, or never need to see. If James and I both give a trailer a need to see rating, we celebrate. Then we go see the movie, report back to you guys in a segment called Trailer in the Rear View, in which we talk about the trailer in retrospect and then review the movie writ large. Now, granted, yeah, sure. These days, go see the movie, far shorter walk. We're just going to our couches. But just to keep with our previous model from the before times of would we pay to see a movie in the theater, we are approaching this under the stand. I was about to say the stand guide, which is just two words that I'm smushing together. And I don't have the confidence that I can make that a thing.
We should.
So I'm just going to try again.
Really start keeping a glossary of made up words that we come up with on this podcast and publish it is what I think.
I think we could make a lot of money schwupping our vocabulary, James. That's absolutely correct. But yes, so to keep with the old standby of, hey, Would we pay full price to see this in a movie theater? We are approaching these trailers under the guideline of, hey, are we willing to pay the $20 early access fee on Amazon for these? That is our thought process. Let's see what we think about these trailers. That's what I want to do. Now, James, what do we got here first?
Well, Kevin, like we already teased, there's been so much exciting teasing already in this episode, and we've barely gotten started. But like we teased before the song, Disney has come out with a new trailer for a new movie called Raya and the Last Dragon. I think it's pronounced Raya or maybe Raya. I'm not sure.
My name is Raya. Our lands have been at war for as long as we can remember. Our people never see eye to eye.
My daughter, I believe our people can come together again, but someone has to take the first step.
Now, in order to restore peace, we must find the last dragon.
I still don't have a funny lead-in for it. I'm really sorry.
Did you really think you were going to come up with one in the 0 hour before we started talking about it?
No, I was trying to figure out where Stan Guide would be applicable, and it's really only like on the Wikipedia for South Park or something. I don't know. Anyway, that's not important. So, let's get into...
guys, this is Courtesy Honk. It's a segment we do on the show when there's a trailer come out, maybe a substantial trailer, but there's just other stuff that we want to devote more of the episode to. And when Raya and the Last Dragon came about, I was like, oh, I'm excited to talk about this. Main drag, we'll do it. Disney, it's huge. Frozen, everyone loves it. All that kind of stuff. But I was like, you know what? We already have a movie with a big old lizard in it. And I don't want to be double dipping, Kevin. So,
although we could have had some really good thematic content there,
that is true.
But clearly, true. as you can hear, we don't have the yucks for Raya. So into the Courtesy Honk it goes. Yeah. Yes.
So we see you, Raya and the Last Dragon. You look good, Kelly Marie Tran. I'm super pumped for you to be in a Disney movie like this, and it looks really cool and entertaining and exciting. But again,
name a point where you can go wrong casting Awkwafina as comic relief. Like when you get down to brass tacks, like that is a great casting.
And if Disney is about anything, it's about brass tacks. Hey-oh! So... Oh. Shots fired. No. Disney cares about money. What? Hot take.
And 7 cease and desist just come flying through my window. Definitely a solid trailer. It's one of those things where I really like the opening with the Con baby. I thought that was really funny. And then we shift into, hey, I'm going to make you a part of our crew. And I will say that did kind of throw me off for the trailer, that Con baby, because we did spend so much time setting up Raya and Con baby's relationship, doesn't really get brought up again. Then it just kind of goes into a general overview of the whole movie. And so like that, I kind of had to like actively rock along with in order to get on its wavelength. Yeah. But for what it's worth, I do think that there's some really cool stuff here, and you should definitely check this trailer out.
Definitely charming, and it's definitely more interesting than a Frozen 3. So more power to you for original content.
But speaking of original content, we got something to talk about in our tune-up section. Now, with tune-ups, that is when we take a trailer that we've already talked about in a previous episode and just give it a little tune-up, because more trailers come out. That's kind of how this all works. So a new trailer for Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar has come out. Now, that first teaser, James and I actively really loved, but we did note that, hey, you never actually see Barb and Star at all throughout the trailer, which was by design. Yeah. And that was the joke of the trailer. And even though that's really funny and that was a really bold choice for a teaser, we were both commenting, yeah, but they're the two stars of the movie, and I think in order to fully commit the $20, you probably would have to at least hear them talk.
Visually market them eventually.
Right, exactly. And so then a new trailer came along.
I'm Star, short for Starbra.
Assume yours is Barbara.
Nope, just Barb. Plain old Barb.
I want to thank Barb and Star for hosting tonight's Talking Club and for making their hot dog soup. I like the salt.
I like the hot dog.
It's not as runny as it usually is.
And this one is pert near exclusively just Barb and Star, the entire trailer. It's kind of the antithesis to that first one. So James, where are you at with it?
Yeah, I mean they dive in. It's not like they're like, oh, we're gonna show you their faces now. They don't like play into the last teaser, which I like. They're just like, no. This trailer is a standalone, its own thing. Don't worry about that gimmick we were doing in the last teaser. We're doing a whole new gimmick in this one, and that is starting off like you think you're watching a Stranger Things trailer.
Exactly. Yeah, that's kind of why I was leading in with like a, what did you think?
Yeah.
Like I was going into my lower register because this trailer starts and you, of course, because we've seen that first teaser, we know that this is going to shift. But yeah, I feel like if this was the before times and you were watching this in a theater, you would go, ooh, okay, cool. Like this is a Stranger Things riff. And then all of a sudden, nope, just the two most pleasant people imaginable is what you're spending the next 2 minutes with. And it's amazing.
And to answer your question, that's how I felt about it. I don't want to mince words about how I feel about Barb and Star. It might be my most anticipated movie of this entire year. I am so excited for just the smile that this campaign and marketing puts on my face, and to think that I will be able to sit there for 2.5 hours or however long it is with that feeling straight through. I cannot wait. It just seems so pleasant. I don't know if I've laughed so hard at such like silly, seemingly simple jokes. It's like, why on paper this doesn't seem that funny, but I am tickled silly by this trailer and the last one.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think the charm here for me is the fact that both of those characters are so delighted by everything.
Yeah.
That's really, I mean, the bit with the shell, like the cell phone casing, and oh my God, look, it looks like I'm talking into a seashell. And then all of a sudden, oh, but wait, we don't have cell phones. Oh, that's okay. I'll just glue it on the landline. And then we move on to the next joke. It does. It paints a really vivid picture of two Midwestern women, but also just makes them the most fun people to be around. And yeah, the fact that they're constantly delighted by everything, I think makes them incredibly charming and definitely people who I want to spend time with. Now, granted, sure, I think in the traditional sense, oh yeah, movies have to have conflict. So what's the conflict here? And honestly, the answer so far after 2 trailers is doesn't look like much of anything. There's absolutely no conflict. And you know what? I don't give a shit. I'm happy. I'm having a great time watching this. Let's do it. Give me this movie. Need to see.
Yeah, I like you nailed it on the head. I didn't know that I would be so excited to see a movie that really doesn't have any conflict. Like I'm sure the guy at the bar who's in room like 616 or whatever, who keeps,
oh, that's so crazy. We're in 124.
We're in 124. And like this guy keeps ripping his shirt off like multiple times in the trailer. And it's like, is that the same guy ripping his shirt off again? And he looks so like upset at the bar that maybe he's going to present some sort of conflict. But in terms of Barb and Star's mind, there's no one that's going to be a conflict for them. In their minds, they're just on vacation and they're going to have a lovely time. But it's like one of those movies that the main character doesn't know that someone's out to get them. They're oblivious the whole time, and that there's just something really heartwarming and pleasant about that. And like you said, even if I'm wrong and there straight up is no conflict in this movie, I'm just going to be delighted to spend vacation with Barb and Star. Absolutely 100% a need to see. This is a tune-up. Technically, this is a tune-up for a teaser even. So it's not even like we upgraded or anything, but double need to sees all the way.
We're there.
Barb and Star, I cannot, but I'm so excited about this whole episode of everything we're talking about. But Barb and Star, far and away, is like my most anticipated movie of 2021. Yeah, happy, very happy.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely stoked for that. Yeah, we will definitely be there. But James, enough tuning up.
Yeah.
We got to get on this main
We do.
track. We have a couple of really big movies. Now, I agree with you. They got big shoes to fill because Barb and Star seems like it's going to be an amazing movie.
They're larger.
So
They're larger than life, Kevin. Barb and Star are larger than life.
they're larger than life. And so let's follow this up with a trailer with two characters who are larger than a skyscraper with Godzilla versus Kong.
This is our only chance. We have to take it. It's Godzilla.
All right, everybody, place your bets because this is Godzilla versus Kong. This is directed by Adam Wingard. This is written by Eric Pearson and Max Borenstein. This is starring Alexander Skarsgård, Millie Bobby Brown, Rebecca Hall, Brian Tyree Henry, Isa Gonzalez, Lance Reddick, Kyle Chandler, Demian Bashir, our random shout out, because we here at Trailer Hitch like to give shout outs to cast and crew members because the top billed people do tend to hog all the credit. So we would like to shout out Kate Bisco, who is the makeup department head. Kate, first of all, genuinely great job. Second of all, I mean, it sounds like the two biggest stars of the movie would be a real pain to get makeup on them. I mean, I can't imagine the pulley systems and ladders and elevators that had to be manufactured in order to make it happen. But you oversaw it all. You did a great job.
The whole budget went towards the makeup department's ladders. That's it. Just their ladders.
And the safety harnesses, too. I don't think Kate would put her crew in danger. Absolutely. Okay, James,
yes.
Give us the rundown here. What happens in Godzilla vs. Kong?
All right, listeners. We got Godzilla vs. Kong. Now, this is a continuation of Godzilla from 2014 with Bryan Cranston, Kong Skull Island, the movie with Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, Samuel L. Jackson, takes place in the 70s. Then there was the Godzilla King of the Monsters movie. That was a continuation of the Godzilla first film. These are all set in the same universe. And Kevin and I actually reviewed Godzilla King of Monsters trailers a few times. And yeah, I thought they were very well done. They were very beautiful, but also, looming disaster, looming like dread, but with like beauty and probably like Claire de Lune playing in the background, if I remember. Now, the reason I bring
you might legitimately be right, but the fact that you can say they probably have Claire de Lune in the background is, I think, a trailer thing we can just amass to a lot of these movies. Yes.
Now, the reason I want to establish like that tone for those Godzilla movies is because it's sort of important, because this culmination movie of Godzilla from those first two movies, very beautiful and stylistic and slow builds, and Kong Skull Island, which is just like a 1970s colorful monster movie with like a bunch of flashy colors and roaring, and it's just wild, and we got 70s music.
Yeah.
And
no, I completely agree. Like, Godzilla is brooding in the corner while Kong is doing burnouts in the middle of the parking lot wearing sunglasses. That is the style. That's the two tones that we're dealing with.
The tones of these two separate like monster movies is important, because when you know you're going to throw them together finally, it's like, which tone is going to dominate the film, or are you going to come up with a new tone? And we have finally the answer to that question. And I'm going to just tell you outright, I think they're kind of setting a new tone that's supposed to be a mixture of what Godzilla established in its movies and Kong established in its movie. So
yeah, I would say that for the human drama here, they're definitely going for Godzilla's tone. Yeah, man, because every time you look at a human, they just look so glum, which, don't get me wrong, they probably know someone who got smushed. It makes sense.
Well,
I'm not
look,
begrudging them.
we're probably going to end up talking majorly about the past movies, but you're right, and it kind of there's merit there because that's how all like the English Godzilla movies are. It's just like humans looking like devastated, but yet also maybe he's on our side. I don't know. And dramatic, and let's have some like piano soft playing in the background. So you're right.
Yes. Definitely. It's either that or the one time they tried to make it fun. It was with Matthew Broderick back in the 90s, and well, we know how that went. So I don't necessarily blame them.
And then Kong comes along, and it's just like, I'm basically the Nick Cage of monsters. So we're going to shake things up a bit. And they do. In this trailer, really shakes things up. We're going to get to the tone, but like Kevin asked me to do, and I derailed it immediately, set up the trailer.
Oh, no. No, you are setting it up because the tone is definitely something that you will hear shift quite a bit as we just give a very brief rundown of what's happening.
So we open on a disaster happening in a big city, explosions, collisions, whatnot.
Yeah, a bunch of humans are devastated saying we need help, which, oh God, get over it. But they have help with Kong.
That's right. They lead into Kong, and Kong is on a boat. And guess what? He's eager to help. Well, he's not that eager. He's asleep mostly. He's tired. He's sleepy.
Too many bananas, too much murder. Who's to say?
So I think now here is the aspect of this trailer and Kong, and also like, oh, I guess this is going down the line of the Godzilla movie tones. Even the Kong aspect is like, oh, there's this little girl and she communicates with him, and it's like, it's sad and it's beautiful and it's important and blah blah blah.
Yeah, they ET with each other at one point. They're touching fingertips.
That's
and
right.
Shit. Yeah, I think it would have been fun to have a more Kong established within this universe of Kong kind of tone with that might have been a little bit more fun and light. Or maybe the girl is like, like reading a book, and then all of a sudden it pans over and you see Kong laying on his stomach with his palms underneath his chin, and he's like kicking his legs in the air just listening to her, but it's creating a hurricane in the background behind him. Like, it's a problem, but God, they're so adorable together. But yeah, it's definitely playing for this is serious.
Exactly.
Guys.
And so that's kind of like, it feels like it's answering that question. It's like, oh, okay, I guess we're going with the tone of the Godzilla movies. And then they build up like, okay, well, he's doing his thing. And then all of a sudden, hey, guess what? Godzilla's coming to town too. And they're gonna have beef, and basically he comes to the boat that King Kong is on, and immediately they start roaring at each other. Then the trailer,
which I do appreciate that. By the way, I do appreciate the fact that Godzilla is effectively saying, listen, I know you see that title and you think, oh, okay, Godzilla and Kong aren't going to fight until the hour 20-minute mark. And Godzilla says, no. I'm going to this fucking boat. I'm starting this right now. I got too many people to eat, too many helicopters to SWAT. I'm just going to take care of this right away. And we get our first fight right away.
Absolutely. It takes its time, making you think, lulling you into thinking this is just kind of like the dreary tone of the Godzilla movies with the humans.
Yeah.
But the second we get both monsters on screen at the same time, it is a rip-roaring, bare-knuckle boxing, duke 'em out type of trailer from that moment until the end of the trailer. And
Kong punches Godzilla in the jaw.
Yeah.
That is how we intro the two characters together.
And that's not even the culmination of the trailer. And that's what I like about it. Kevin,
dude, no, monkey assault is a blip on the radar in this trailer. Like that's blink and you miss it practically.
I like how you clarified, like, oh yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to be waiting until an hour 20 before these two characters duke it out. This feels like it's going to be a boxing match with multiple rounds. And I'm there for it, man. Like, you don't tune into You don't tune into boxing just to watch the weigh-in and then to hear them talk and the reporters and sit in their corners for a while and then watch one round and that's it. That's not what you do when you go to a boxing match.
Don King collects Godzilla's check and then bounces.
No,
yeah,
then,
exactly. No, I do.
yeah.
I want to have King Ghidorah walking in between the two of them, holding up a round 3 sign with one of its 3 heads. That's what I want, James. You're correct.
So, like I said, the tone definitely takes a shift when Godzilla and Kong meet. And I think that is when my ears perked up and I was like, that's what I'm into. This is interesting. And I don't think it's fully the tone from the Godzilla movies, and it's definitely not fully the tone from the Kong Skull Island movie. I think it's trying to set itself apart into a mixture of the two, and I think they do that really well with the song choice for this trailer once they finally meet.
Okay.
It really just like amps up the energy in an exciting and entertaining way where, like I said, Godzilla was constant just like piano Claire de Lune Chopin in the background just being like, isn't this beautiful and sad?
Remember the weight of a giant lizard. Remember that. The emotional tenor it creates.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then this trailer comes along and it's like, no, we are going to amp up the adrenaline in this and it's going to be crazy.
And like the music itself, it's one of those things where I think it was just because it was such a tonal shift just in terms of audio alone that I was a little bit thrown off with it the first time, but then I was like, no, I'm like, eventually I submitted to it because I was like, well, yeah, this is where the trailer makes its bread and butter, baby. It's right here. It's with monkey assault. That's what I want out of this trailer. And yeah, because I will admit, the first time I heard the song, I went, oh my God, did we just walk into the most aggressive CrossFit class ever? But you know what? At this point now, I'm doing sit-ups. I'm having fun with it. Let's do it. Yeah, let's go.
Like you said, place your bets. I made jokes when the first poster came out, which basically the tagline was "One will fall," and I was like, yeah. We know how these versus movies go, though. Yeah, one will fall, but for a short period of time. But then they'll get up, and then the two of them will be mates, and then start like addressing a separate threat, you know?
That totally wasn't what I thought was going to happen. I figured it would just be one would fall, and then the post-credit scene, that one that fell would just kind of like scratch its face, sit up, and be like, all right, see you in a couple years. But I do like the idea of, yeah, like they fight, but then eventually they look over and they go, we hate hedge funds. And then the two shake hands and go and attack Wall Street or something. Yeah, sure. Okay, fuck. I'll do that too.
Yeah, it's that giant golden bull from Wall Street. It's just like, I'm a monster now. You guys, I don't often make Kevin snort, but it makes me really happy.
You got me.
Yeah, there's not much more to say about the trailer. It culminates to them squaring off multiple times, it looks like. And then it looks like Kong is holding some sort of axe. And he's like coming in high. And he's coming swinging down. And then the trailer cuts to the title card. It's done artfully well. Very well done.
Oh, yeah, of course. But I did want to bring that up as you were talking about, oh yeah, when the first poster came out, my thought was, well, which one of them shoots fucking fire? That's not going to be that tight of a matchup. But what I do appreciate about this trailer is, and bear in mind, I know it's kind of stacked in this favor because they are definitely painting out the matchup to be Kong is who you want to root for if you are a human.
Well, and I wanted to ask you that, like, just even before this trailer came out, do you have like a favorite that you would have like instinctually rooted for between King Kong and Godzilla? Not even necessarily in this franchise, but just in general.
Definitely grew up watching Godzilla movies on the Sci-Fi Channel, and so I think I have a little bit more of a natural connection to Godzilla than I do Kong.
I love that because I'm a Kong guy and I'm like natural. Oh no, everyone roots for Kong, right? No? Am I wrong there? Oh, I guess I misread that situation. I thought everyone was on the same page here.
Oh, no, it's all good, dude. Yeah, so I did walk into this not only kind of having a natural personal bias toward Godzilla, but also, again, well, one shoots fire out of his mouth, and the other one, if you just like spin a couple planes around him, he gets dizzy and falls off a skyscraper. Like, this isn't going to be that close of a matchup. But that said, this trailer definitely does a lot to show the ingenuity of King Kong.
Well, I love
that's a legitimate sentence that I can say.
That's what I was going to say. You said, well, one's got fire breathing. What does the other one have? And I'm like, opposable thumbs, baby. Opposable thumbs, bitch. That's going to come in handy, man. Godzilla's going to be over there with his tiny little arms just being like, well, I'm pretty much just a one-trick pony with my fire-breathing breath. I guess if you can dodge that, you're in pretty good shape.
Also, if you hold one metal rod, I'll just naturally aim for that. Even though I could just angle a little bit down, I could hit you right in the chest. But if you're holding that axe and you're coming down with it, yep, that's where I'm aiming my fire breath. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it was like the axe was made out of something that attracted the... Look, no, we won't get into theorizing here why Godzilla's aim was so ridiculously off there.
All right.
I just
putting my whiteboard back.
I want to believe that the movie will address it. And guess what, Kevin? I'm gonna know first thing when that movie comes out, because this is a need to see it for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. I'm so sorry I can't be there with you yet. It's one of those things where, listen.
That's fine. You're a Godzilla fan. If you were a Kong fan like me, you'd be there.
Yeah, I was not happy with the Godzilla erasure here, because Godzilla also has feelings. Why didn't they send a little kid out to go to...
Kevin, I'm giving you 2 opposable thumbs down right now, okay?
Listen, all I'm saying is, hey, we have a little kid who can communicate with Kong and give Kong someone to hang out with. Maybe Godzilla just needs a little kid to hang out with. Yeah, no, why aren't we listening to the plight of Godzilla? Sure, he's crushing buildings. Listen, my argument isn't ironclad. I'm just saying. Listen, the Godzilla versus Kong aspect of this, I agree. It's pretty fucking sick. It's pretty fun. But that said, we know we're going to be spending a lot of time with the humans, and that's a lot of time to be listening to sad Claire de Lune in the fucking background as people go, oh, ho, home, someone got crushed. And listen, it's really, here's where I'm at, man. Because again, like we were talking, would we pay $20 to see this early access? For me right now, $10. I would totally pay $10 to see that right now. Like if this was, and bear in mind, if we were in the before times, this was like the $5 Tuesday deal, fuck yes, I'm there. That's an easy get. But first thing on Friday night, I don't really know yet. So I this is a need to see more for me right now.
Okay, that's fair.
Give me more Godzilla and Kong punching each other. I might get there. I might be like, okay, yeah, I will see you $20 Friday night, first thing, let's go. But yeah, as of right now, I promise, there is so much promise here. And if there's a second trailer that can capitalize on it, fucking all about it. But I always get bummed when I disagree with you, because it's always way more fun when you and I get to geek out collectively on something. And it's one of those things where I just have to build up the Moxie in order to find my own voice. Which, speaking of Moxie and finding your own voice, do we have a trailer for you?
Slow clap, Kevin. Slow clap. That was good.
Why have we all accepted it? Like no one even blinks.
Me and my friends protested everything. We made a ton of mistakes, but you're glad you did it all right. Of course. What are you gonna do? Nothing?
Whoever wrote Moxie is a badass.
You know what's messed up? I got sent home for wearing a tank top, meanwhile Jason is constantly shirtless. People refuse to call me by my new name. I don't like being voted best ass.
It says to draw hearts and stars on your hands to show support.
That's hot.
Will this rebel girl be the queen of our neighborhood? Only time will tell. This is Moxie. It is directed by Amy Poehler. It is written by Tamara Chestnut, Jennifer Matthew, and Dylan Meyer. This is starring Josephine Langford, Marisa Gay Harden, Ike Barinholtz, and Clark Gregg. Our random shout out is going to go to Kara Ko, who did stunts. Hey, Kara, good job, bud. You did stunts in a movie. Also, did not get the impression from the trailer that this would be stunt heavy, so I'm intrigued.
It's going to get really Kong versus Godzilla stunt crazy near the end of this movie. And we just wanted to shout out the stunt person for that.
Is someone going to hit someone in the head with a shovel in this movie? I hope so. But indeed, this is Moxie. We start out with a young woman talking to her mom and basically saying, oh, what were you like when you were my age? Because she's 16, she's in high school. And the mom, played by Amy Poehler, goes, oh, dude, I wanted to just burn the patriarchy and take everything down. And she finds her mom's lockbox, chest box, something like that, opens it up, and is just completely enamored with the world of like 80s punk and specifically like Riot Girl punk. We then go into high school. Now, in high school, our main character is someone who is often kind of ignored. If you're crass as shit, you would say she's plain. But you know, it's basically she's walking around with her friend and kind of pointing out, oh yeah, this girl is going to be voted best ass by the boys this year. Oh god, like this girl, she's so pretty, everyone just like hits on her and stuff. And oh boy, isn't it good that we never get noticed.
You have to imagine, Kevin, that this is not like a school-sanctioned voting thing, like, you know, best smile or most likely to succeed.
Yeah, this isn't an American Idol system. No one's texting this in. This is all hushed whispers. Anyway, one of the main character's classmates starts to get harassed by, looks like a jock fellow. This girl goes and speaks to the office, who says, whoa, don't call it harassment, because then we might actually have to do something about it. And our main character talks to this girl and tries to give advice and says, oh, well, if you just kind of keep your head down and don't let this guy get to you, eventually he's just going to get bored and move on. And this girl looks our main character dead in the eyes and says, no, I'm going to keep my head up. And then all of a sudden, that little fire kind of sparks within our main character. Oh shit. Yeah, no, that does feel good to keep your head up, doesn't it? Then from there, our main character creates a punk zine where it's basically kind of centered around the idea of, hey, listen, the way that the girls are treated in our school is fucking gross. Like, and we end up hearing from that girl who's going to get voted best ass, hey, I would not like this to be something that's voted on. I don't want to be included in this. Please don't do this. Now we kind of have this little group, this little collective, who's now putting out this punk scene, and their main character is kind of finding her voice through that. And eventually they start putting stickers and stars on their hands just to let people know, hey, we read the zine, we stand with this, we agree with this.
I want to interrupt you just real quick. You're throwing around a term a lot that I'm not familiar with, so maybe listeners aren't familiar with. Is it
zine?
Is it ZEEN? Zine?
Oh, Zine. It's basically like a magazine. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I feel like an idiot. You said it like 3 times, and I'm like, I'm sure it won't come up again. And then you said it like 5 more times, and I'm like, okay, I gotta bring it up now. What is that? It's like, oh, it's a magazine. Oh shit! Of course it is. Perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. I love it.
She creates the scene. Now, the particular boy who we saw harassing someone earlier is now kind of creating a counter movement of, oh, if they come for me, then who are they gonna come for next? That's probably another douchebag.
He's like clearly in cahoots with like the administrator woman who like didn't want to do any work. And they're like, they're clearly the two like antagonists. If you had to put a face on the antagonist of this movie, it would be those two people.
Yeah, so that is, in general, what is happening in this trailer. Yeah. James, how are you feeling? Where do you think?
It was really hard for me to sum up how this trailer made me feel. And I'm still struggling with it. I mean, I just watched it for the first time today, but I have watched it 3 times. Because I thought it was that good. But I just am so overwhelmingly excited that a movie like this exists and is going to be coming out, because this is just like an aspect of culture that has that needs to change, obviously. And being in the entertainment industry as we are, Kevin, is sometimes it feels like we're in an industry that it's just like, oh, we're just meant to entertain, and that's important, and it is important, and I believe that. But every once in a while, there will be a project that happens that makes me go, this could very slowly but effectively start to change things. And that is just wildly exciting to see, especially someone who's got, two nieces are about to get into middle school, right? Like they're knocking on the door of, higher education. And I want to see them enter it when shenanigans and bullshit like what these girls in this movie have to deal with is more upfront and fucking addressed. And that's just really great. And so I don't know, it's hard for me not to like talk about this super. I don't have many jokes to say about this. It's awesome. Is that like good enough, Kevin?
Especially if that's how you feel about it, fuck yeah, man. No, and we don't have to always go for the yucks.
That's
we
true.
can be genuine.
That's true.
And yeah, I am really digging this. And I think the best way I can put it is I've been obnoxiously on record on this podcast about how I'm like, ugh, coming of age films. We're getting another. I will say, even with my cold, bitter coming of age out heart, I watched this and went, oh, this looks fucking fun. I really dig this. And I really love that the energy specifically that was brought into this trailer.
Agreed.
And I do really like how the story unfolds within it. I was the canary in the coal mine here. You were like, oh, hey, I'm sending you this trailer. I haven't watched it yet. Let me know if it's good. And I hit you up and I was like, hey, this is pretty solid. Just a heads up. It does feel like it does give a pretty decent amount of the movie within the trailer.
And even with that context going in that Kevin gave me, I still was just completely enamored with it. So that's saying something.
Yeah, and now bear in mind the story that it gives me with this trailer, regardless of how much is there or not, because it is something where this trailer feels like the entire movie condensed into 2 minutes, is something that I could say about a fair few amount of trailers. And once you can say it about enough of a sample size, it hits a point where, is that even really that big of a criticism to bring up? You note it, but at the same time, it's not something that I feel like I can completely demerit a trailer for.
Right.
Now, with that story that is given to me here, oh yeah, this feels very full and complete. And yeah, when it comes to Amy Poehler as director, I'm seeing a lot of really good creative touches there with composition and blocking. I think that's really great.
Absolutely, I would totally agree.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where, and again, like that energy is there, and it's a really focused trailer. I think it does tell an important story, as you mentioned, and it's just super fun. The only real thing I can say is there was some humor that didn't necessarily land for me. I think especially that last button. I do like the overall message of, hey, this is a boy who's trying to be nice, but he's also kind of trying to figure out, like, he's kind of questioning now, oh, is it silly for me to say ladies first when they walk up to a door? And our main character goes like, oh man, it's fine. Don't worry about it. And then he says, absolutely. And then she walks through and you can see him go, oh God, I'm an idiot. And it's one of those things where like that joke on its own merits, it's fine. That's a pretty common archetypal joke. And definitely, I think, especially with Amy Poehler behind the lens, I feel like there is more room for creativity with that kind of humor. But that said, outside of the last gag, dude, no, this is a really solid fucking trailer.
I would totally agree with you. I liked the last gag, but I didn't love it. Like it didn't make me like laugh out loud, but I probably smiled during it. Like I thought it was cute and charming and a good subtext sum up of of the whole message of the movie. And it's like, no, you can still be polite, and like that doesn't mean you're a bad person for saying ladies first. It depends. It always comes down to like your intent or like, where you're coming from. And if it's obvious that you're not like being like creepy and weird about it, then yeah, you can say ladies first. That's fine. And it's funny that this kid is clearly trying to figure it out, and I like that. That made me smile. But you're right.
And again, I do like the sweetness of it 100%. Yeah, but just like, did it make me laugh? Unfortunately, no.
But and that's what I was gonna say. I think you're right. The humor in it didn't quite make me laugh. That's twofold. One, I'm not entirely convinced that it's supposed to be a comedy anyway. I think it's just supposed to be just a kick-ass, awesome message, really entertaining movie that happens to have some levity in it.
Okay.
And that was one. And two, I mean, how are you supposed to compare it to Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar? I just don't know.
That would be profoundly unfair to put anything up to Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar. That is just
of course
over the line.
When Kevin and I are watching Moxie immediately after the trailer for Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar, I mean, by comparison, it's just not fair. It's just not fair.
I will say, though, I did get a little bit more comedy hits within this trailer just because of that joke in the middle of, our main character saying, "Oh no, I'm already pregnant," walking away as Amy Poehler as mom says, like, "Wait, what are you were joking, right?" So.
Sure. But I mean, those could just feel like moments of like venting humor instead of just like, oh, this is a comedy. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And when it comes to genres like that, which that's kind of a hard moving target to define that genre of, oh, it's not a comedy, but there's a lot of like humor in it, but it's not like laugh out loud humor, but like, oh, you know what? Don't explain it. Just shut up. So I think there's a lot of movies like that, and this kind of falls into that category for me.
That's perfectly fair. Yeah.
And who knows? It definitely could not be funny at all. Like when you watch the movie, the whole context or the way the scenes are edited or scored, maybe the humor is sucked out of it completely, and it's definitely just meant to be like this message driven movie. I would still be down for it then as well. But I mean, with Amy Poehler behind it, I hope there's some really good comedy there, because I like my movies to be completely well-rounded, and I the same goes for this,
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. I think when it comes to the construction of the trailer, I do like the story that's being told. I will just give one quick note about the beginning, because I do like the idea of her pulling out that box, opening it up, Bikini Kill just raises in that soundtrack. It's such a fucking rad song. I'm so there. That's so cool. And then all of a sudden it's like we hard cut to her at school, and then it is this really like nondescript score playing, and I initially was like, oh, okay, that was kind of jarring. And then once we got further into the trailer, then Bikini Kill started again. Once she starts the zine, it was like I completely understand the creative motivation that like tapping into that part of her is what's going to make Bikini Kill come up in the score. I think there may have been a less jarring way to do that, to transition into her into high school, though.
You know what? It could have been.
Even if it was just her like looking in the box and then shutting it, the song stops, and then we go into, just so that way there was a little bit more of a visual cue to get us there.
That's a great way, and you get the visual cue in there. And maybe the trailer actually even does this. I don't remember off the top of my head, but if you could make what did you call it? Bikini
Kill. That's the artist of the song.
If you could
Rebel
make
Girl.
the Bikini Kill song when she opens the box super, super echoey and distant, like that.
Oh, sure.
That's another way to like clue your audience into our main character is peeking into this world, but she's not there yet. And she will get there later in this trailer. Don't worry, So I think that's a fair criticism. And I think in terms of like editing and sound design, and that's why we talk about trailers in this way, because there is a really artful way to do them. And trailers, as done well as Moxie are, kind of lend an open door into us
to nitpicking.
saying, oh, this got me really excited. You know what would have been better? Which is such a weird thing to criticize when I loved it so much.
Sure. But it is one of those things where...
What the hell do I know?
it does kind of open the door. And like, bear in mind, I think especially when our note is specifically, oh, there's a way to tweak this 3-second portion of the trailer. I think it does come through that, yes, overall, of course, we really enjoyed this. But that was just something that I know kind of threw me off the first time I watched it.
Absolutely. If we wouldn't have enjoyed it as much as we did, it would have been in the courtesy honk segment with Raya and the Last Dragon. Which, look,
we would have just been waving at it. Yep.
Nothing against Raya and the Last Dragon, but this trailer had so much to dissect and talk about and be excited about. And I think that's a perfect segue, Kevin, to talking about our rating for it.
Which for me is a pretty easy need to see, man.
It's the easiest need to see. Are you kidding me?
Yay! Cheers.
And I was a little worried about you, Kevin. I thought maybe that you were going to be just shy of a need to see with this one because of the humor not landing perfectly. But I'm really happy that we sandwiched this episode of Trailer Hitch with a need to see, with agreeing. Didn't agree on the middle one, but agreed on the last one. Makes me really happy.
Well, that way it makes a more rounded listening experience too when you get down to it. Man, because then that way it's like, if we agree all the time, we can't all be Barb and Star, okay? But
we can strive for it, though. We can
strive for it. You can absolutely strive for it. I do kind of wish there was like the humor was a little bit stronger here. But overall, no. I mean, the energy in this trailer is just, it's fucking there. It's something that, again, and even as someone who is kind of over coming of age movies, which I do have to point my finger up to the sky and say, James, holy shit, there's no pool scene. Okay, this opens the door for me. Now I'm excited.
In the trailer. There's no pool scene in the trailer.
At this point, that's my poolless oasis. Yes, we will absolutely see Moxie. I think that is due to come out in the top of March, but hey, you listen to us gab on. What did you think of Moxie? What did you think of Godzilla vs. Kong? Are you also hashtag Team Godzilla, even though Godzilla is definitely coded to be the villain? Are you also ready to just fucking hang with Barb and Star for a bit? Let us know, please. We'd love to hear from you guys. Just go ahead, shoot us an email at trailerhitchmailbox@gmail.com. Otherwise, you are more than welcome to hit us up on Facebook. If you just search Trailer Hitch Podcast there, you should be able to find us and you can message us right on our wall or however you would like to contact us. But if you want to keep that missive short, say 280 characters short, you can do that at our Twitter. That is at Trailer Hitch Pod. Or if you'd like to take a picture and send it to us, you can do so on our Instagram at Trailer Hitch Podcast. Or you can leave a comment on the very YouTube video you are watching right now. And while you're there, by the way, liking, subscribing, all of those things that help us find more listeners, we'd really appreciate it if you did it. Additionally, we would also like to say, if you aren't listening to us on YouTube or subscribe to us on YouTube, well, then we have to assume you're listening to us on either Apple Podcasts or Stitcher, because honestly, I'm pretty sure those are the only ways. If you're listening to it a different way, definitely send an email, because I don't know how the fuck that's happening. But anyway, with Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, liking, subscribing, rating, all the things that help us find more listeners, we would sincerely appreciate it. Before we go, we would like to thank Danny Schmitz from Lost in a Name for the amazing intro that you hear at the top of every episode. We would like to thank Rachel Ashley for the amazing cover art that you see on our various social medias. You can find her work at Mighty Creations on Instagram. We would also like to thank Jenny Hawks, our Bad Movie and social media correspondent, for her sterling work week in and week out. And we would also like to thank Casey Clowers for the amazing outro, which you will hear in just a moment. Well, James, do you have something to add? Because otherwise we'll just go right into that.
Yeah, not at all. I got another whiskey to pour myself, so let's do it, baby.
All right, yep, get that whiskey going because we got some tunes.
sails without a sailor stitch, and you can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
You guys, Barb and Star is where we're starting with this episode. This episode has so many trailers I'm excited about.
So are the police.
They were like, people are talking about Barb and Star. We got to get in on that.